not alone.
1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Not really.
Matt, you need to be louder.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Is that better? Great. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. Sorry, we had a little later start. I'm going to start this other right now also. Get this moving. Welcome, everybody. Miss Stephanie Blythe, my dear colleague and friend, and I'm breathing hard because I just ran up the stairs.
You mean you're not breathing hard because we're in each other's presence again?
Well,
after all these years?
Of course. Whenever I think of you, I think of us seeing how much sushi we could eat at one time at Wolf Trap.
Ah, yes. Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
So anyway, everybody, thank you for being here. We are going to have the singer sing, and then Ms. Blythe is going to have comments for them, and we're going to talk. And then we're going to have a little bit of a maybe a little talk back in between for the air to clear a little bit. So everybody, we will keep all your microphones muted, please, and we will use the raise hand function when we will have some discussion. But anyway, why don't we take it away? I'm also going to, 1 second, I'm going to put the program up in my, as we're going. Why don't we go ahead and get started, and I will put the program, I will cut and paste it in the chat so that people can see it. So for right now, we have Miss Kelly Riordan. And Kelly, why don't you just tell everybody what you're going to sing, and we'll get started.
I will be singing Poem Datum by Margaret Bonds. The autumn leaves are too heavy with color. The slender trees on the Vulcan road are dressed in scarlet and gold, like young courtesans waiting for their lovers. But soon the winter wind will strip their bodies and then the sharp slate-stung caresses of the cold will be their only love.
Terrific. Great. Can you hear me, Kelly?
Yes.
Great. Can you introduce your pianist, please?
Oh, yes. This is Dr. Jeremy Rieger.
Hi, Dr. Rieger.
Hi.
Very nice to meet you. Beautiful playing.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. So, Kelly, gorgeous job. Beautiful. Gorgeous song. How did you come to this song?
Well, I've been doing quite a bit of research on African-American composers, and I'm working on a recital of music by African-American composers, particularly who were working during the Harlem Renaissance.
Fabulous.
So yeah, so that's how I came across this, and there was a recording, and I was like, I must track down the music to this, because I just really identified with this piece. I think it's just been really speaking to me.
Well, why? Why? How did it speak to you?
Well, I think it's sort of this coming of age for me. The beginning alludes to kind of young lust and love and beauty, and all these kinds of sensual things. And then you kind of get this, you get this very striking, like, it's like the rug has been kind of pulled out from under you, and suddenly you're an adult, and things are cold and sharp, and there's still love, but your eyes are a little bit wizened. Your eyes are, it's like the rose-colored glasses are off, and you see a little bit more of the hardness, the harshness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. Beautiful. Now I get why you connect to it.
Yeah.
So tell me, you use the word sensual in this.
Yeah.
What is sensual about this song or the poetry?
So I think the autumn leaves are they're too heavy with color to me. I mean, the music itself is very sensual, I think. But then I think of this.
Why? Why? Why is the music sensual? What makes it sensual?
The bluesy nature of it, I suppose.
Okay, bluesy is good.
Yeah.
It's too general.
Yeah.
What makes it bluesy?
Well, literally, like blues, there's like blues chords in there.
Yes.
I like the kind of the triplet at the beginning, the heavy with that part. Sensual.
Dr. Rieger, may I ask you to play from the beginning? And Kelly, just listen.
Yeah.
Could you just listen? See now.
Yeah.
You hear that? It almost feels like there's an extraneous beat. Dr. Rieger, can you do this one more time for me?
Sure.
You hear that each of the measures they hand over the time? They hand over the music to each other? Ba bum ba gi da di ba bum ba gi. That's where the sensuality comes from. Because you hear the autumn leaves are too heavy, right? There's where the heaviness comes from.
Yeah.
And the whole time when you look at this this whole score, it has this. Hello. Like you said. Hello? Oops, that's okay. Like you said, once you get to "But Soon the Winter Wind," all of a sudden everything changes, right? Yeah. You got a key change, and the way it sounds is. Dr. Rieger, would you mind playing that measure just before the pickup "But Soon," where the key changes, please?
Sure.
Right? Totally different feeling. It's very straightforward. It's crystal. It's crystal. And so the whole time you were singing, Kelly, I got this beautiful tone in your voice. And I love the way you use the language. It's beautiful. But I never felt a sense of connection, especially to the left hand in the piano. You need to feel more of the weight in this and the connection to the rhythm. I'm not saying that you're singing wrong rhythms. I'm just saying you're at cross purposes with the piano.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It needs much more connection to the piano. Would you mind singing from the beginning for me again?
Yeah.
And as you're singing, really listen to the piano.
Yeah. Okay.
Really listen. And when you sing the autumn leaves, have it come out of the piano.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Okay. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Let's try it again. This is the hard part of doing this with having to take these stands on and off, right? When I really want to hear beat 4.
Okay.
The autumn leaves are too, right? It's not, it needs to be more grounded.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
One more time.
The autumn leaves are too heavy with color. The slender trees on the Vulcan road are dressed in scarlet and gold, like young courtesans.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. But now I'm feeling you're much more connected to the rhythm.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that you're leading it.
Okay.
This is not the way she's written this. It's not easy. It's not straightforward at all. Would you agree with me, Dr. Rieger?
Sure, totally.
It's not straightforward, I think that every time you land on a word like leaves or color, the slender trees, every time you land on a big one, we have to feel it, and you have to lead it.
Yeah.
You're following too much. You have to lead it.
Okay.
That's what makes it feel more. God, I don't want to sound so esoteric and because you sing the song beautifully. It just doesn't. It's not sexy enough, and that's why. It's because you're not landing.
Okay.
That's what makes music sexy, right? Whenever you hear anything that really gets you, all of you, whatever kind of song you're working on, aria, whatever you're working on, the thing that's sexy about music is landing. It's when all of a sudden you get that feeling. It's a frisson, right? You know what I'm talking about, Kelly?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's that moment when all of a sudden you go, like that. That's sensuality right there.
Yeah.
So it comes from when we meet at the right time. Amazing that's when it would happen. But that's when it happens, right? So it's all about timing. It's about timing.
Yeah. And
this piece can you sing it beautifully, but if the timing lands, if all those moments land, then it's really special.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Can you just try one more time? I'm so sorry to ask you to do it one more time.
No, it's great.
But just take the lead. Take the lead, Kelly. Take the lead.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. The autumn leaves are too heavy with color. The slender trees on the Vulcan road are dressed in scarlet and gold, like young courtesans waiting for their lovers.
Right? So, Kelly, do you feel the difference?
Yes, totally.
Right?
Yes.
Do you all hear the difference? Thumbs up if you hear it. it makes a huge difference
Yeah.
when you feel where you land and you connect. And that way it has this incredible forward motion and beautiful sensuality. Now,
Yeah.
when you sing for their lovers, you have to send it off.
Yeah.
You can't just sing lovers. It's got to go someplace. So when you finish, no matter how long that note is, the spin of your voice has to send it forward and then release it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you're not smacking into a wall. You're just releasing the energy of that note out, right?
Yeah.
For their lovers.
Yeah.
Can you just try that for their lovers?
For their lovers.
Right? Right? And why, hold one second. Why are you getting soft? Why are you getting soft at the end?
I don't know.
Why not?
Just because I was trying to avoid like a hard cut off, and I have been having a hard time like not.
You're not going to do a hard cut off.
Okay.
You're not going to do a hard cut off.
Okay.
You're not. No.
You're right.
Love us. You're not going to do a hard. What are you? It's not going to happen. All you have to do is continue singing. Turn the C sharp. So sorry. I got to take this out. Just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Bless. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Keep your voice spinning all the way to the end and release.
Yeah.
That's it. Release up.
Okay.
Like I tell a lot of the students I work with, like, it's like you're releasing a dove.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So one more time.
Lovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Good. But soon the winter wind will strip their bodies bare. And then the sharp slate-stung caresses of the cold will be their only love.
So Kelly.
Yes.
When you sing, we'll be there only. It's very important
Yeah.
that this is super legato here.
Yeah.
So we'll be there. And it's forte.
Mm-hmm.
So sing, right? Be there only love. So that the way you sing, we'll be there only love, is what makes the piano go back into that ba-dee-da-dee-ba-boom. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to make that happen. Right?
Okay.
Okay? Can you go from beautiful, would you mind going from and then the sharp sleeting?
Yeah, sure. And then the sharp slate-stung caresses of the cold will be their only love.
right? Right?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a breath before love?
Why don't I?
Why? Why don't you?
I don't know. We just kind of talked about where to take a breath and thought only
Well,
might be better.
have you looked at this poem off of the score?
No, I haven't.
Love is one word at the very end.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's one word at the very. Friends, when you're working on poetry,
Yeah.
it's really important that you look at how that poem is written.
Yeah.
And it says, and the sharp sleet stung, new line, caresses of the cold, new line, will be their only new line, love, period.
Mm.
So when I look at something like that, I say, you know what? I don't think it'd be such a bad thing to take a breath before love and be able to hold that and really sing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just something
totally.
to think of. That's just something to think about. I'm not telling you that's the way you should do it.
No, but that's.
In fact, nothing I've said to you today, if anything I've said to you today, like, let it go. It's just my opinion. I mean, it's 25 years of opinion, but it is. Look at the way something is written out.
Yeah.
But if you allow this to really feel the weight of will be there only, because it feels super weighty because it's just chords in the piano, right?
Yeah.
So if the two of you if you just allow the generosity of that time to happen, then take a breath before love and really spin it out.
Yeah.
Because she's got 3 full measures of hold with just you as a piano, just holding its own.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, I'd love a breath there. And then the sharp slate stung caresses of the cold will be there only
Good. Don't be afraid to sing. Don't be afraid to spin all the way to the end.
Yeah.
You don't spin the tone all the way to the end, it's going to dip, right?
Yeah, I just started decrescendoing too fast, I think.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But as you get softer, you have to spin more, not less, right? So as you get softer, just think about the spin. When I say spin, you understand what I mean, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The reverberation of your voice needs to speed up. It needs to get faster. It needs to be more intense. Or, my first teacher, Pat Mislin, used to say, repeat the vowel a gazillion times at that moment. And the softer you get, the more intense that has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Just from Will Be. I loved Will Be There Only. I thought that was beautiful.
Cool. Yeah, that felt good. Will be there only
Better.
Nice.
Better. Yeah.
That's great.
Better.
Okay. So we're going to move on, Stephanie, in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm keeping track.
Oh, great.
I'm keeping track.
You do it. So shall we have some questions from the participants? Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Jeremy?
Thank you, Kelly.
Would you mind turning up your mic that I just turned on for your piano? Turn the second one up just a little bit on the Focusrite. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, guys, who has any questions? Let's use our hand raising, please. Anybody? Stephanie, why don't you tell them a little bit about one of your projects that I know you've done I'm so embarrassed. What's the name of your alter ego on YouTube?
You mean my drag character?
Your drag character, yes.
I have an alter ego that I utilize in cabaret and sometimes in my private life. His name is Blythe Jan. He's a dramatic tenor. As he would be, of course, he would be a dramatic tenor. He is an alter ego that I developed with a group called the Bearded Ladies Cabaret in Philadelphia. And I work with a wonderful director there named John Jarbo, who does the most spot-on Edith Piaf you've ever heard. And yeah, this is something that I started doing in 2017, and I had a Lincoln Center debut with him a year ago. Yesterday, I think it was the 19th, and I sing with a rock band, and we do mashups of opera arias and disco and rock and roll, and we do a big cabaret show. We work on scripts, we do improv, we do all sorts of stuff. It's actually one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done on stage, and has given me some opportunities to express things artistically that I couldn't in any other way. And I'm very, very interested in gender play in my operatic life and in my cabaret life. So I'm actually scheduled to do Gianni Schicchi and Suor Angelica coming up in San Diego, where I will be singing the title role in Schicchi. So I'm very excited about that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Andrew Garland just said
I
was just going to say, Andy Garland just said they've watched part of your cabaret in his studio class.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, I hope it was enjoyable. Yeah, we have a lot of fun, and the thing is that rock and roll and opera are very close relatives, and I've done a lot of musical theater, and I do a lot of American songbooks, and I'm writing shows all the time, and now I'm working on doing a monthly show online with my ukulele, so I do a lot of. And now I'm actually composing my own songs on ukulele. So it's, the pandemic has been a time of creative juice flowing, I guess.
Stephanie, I think this is so interesting for everybody to hear. When we were starting out, there was kind of only one. When we were at Wolf Trap and all that other stuff, and Nick and Net and all that stuff, everybody was kind of like trying to put us all in this box. And it's so nice that now I really think, obviously, that is changing. And I think it's exciting for everybody. And to see an artist, of your caliber embracing it and expressing it, I think is so inspiring to all these young singers. And I love how you're really carrying the torch for us about being able to do things that inspire you and what you want to do. And then success comes when you trust your heart and your soul.
Absolutely. One of the things that's very, very, and a very important ingredient in all of this is that no matter what you do, and this is very true of the drag work that I do as Blithely, you honor the work first. You always have to do it. You have to sing it the best you can sing it. So this time that you have right now of being able to really work on your technique, really get your foundation really solid, it will enable you to take these next steps and be creative. And the most frustrating part of being a young singer is waiting for your voice to catch up with your heart and your brain. It takes a little while.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once you're in a position of that technique being there at your beck and call whenever you need it, you are able to take these next steps as creators. And that's one thing that singers have not had a great opportunity to be in the past, and that is an actual creator. We are the recreators. We're the vessels. But we are absolutely capable of being creators. And it is necessary for us because we have things that we want to say. That's what's so great about things like a recital. A recital gives you an opportunity to do something that's non-prescribed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do an operatic role, there's only so much you can do with that role. Although I think changing the gender is kind of big, but hey. But when you're doing a recital, you really can get out of the box. And I agree, Lee. Lee Holman? Lee? Yeah? Who said, where are you? Where are you, Lee? Raise your hand. Let me see you. All right, I see you in the chat. I agree, no boxes. But the thing is that if you are going to say no boxes, then you have to have something to present instead of the box, right? It's easy to say no box. You have to have something to put in its place. If you break that wall down, that's great. But we have to build something. We have to build something and have something to offer. And I think that passion to want to do that is one thing. The ability to make the passion happen is another. And when they come together, that's when things really happen. And the thing that's really amazing right now is that by virtue of all of this, this virtual reality that we're living in right now, we can be connected with all sorts of different people. Maintain these connections. Maintain them and create them, because you do not know the person that is in the box next to you right now might be the person that helps make your dream come true. You have no idea. I had no idea. When I met John Jarbo, I had no idea I was meeting someone who's going to change my entire life. And I was open to that, and all of a sudden it happened. But it happened because we were ready. So be ready. That's the end of my speech. Be ready.
Yay. So our next singer is Miss Olivia Lerwick, and she's going to be singing the fabulous song Ukulele by Mr. Kurt Weill. Is that mic at a low enough level for you?
No.
Yeah, lower it so that it's kind of even with your mouth, Olivia. Lovely. And then you can even kind of move it if you want so that it's a little bit. There you go. Fabulous. And you can sing without the headphones and then put them on when we're going to talk. Okay.
Okay.
Great. And yes, Stephanie, I just wanted to say this is Mr. Jeremy Rieger. He's one of our amazing collaborative artists on faculty. And we so appreciate him. And he is a fabulous player. And I will also let everybody know at the end who everybody's fabulous teacher was when they're done.
Brilliant. Okay. You're going to, goody. Now, before anybody starts, we didn't hear who the poet was in the last song. The poet in the last song was the Margaret Bond song was Langston Hughes. Who's the poet for Ukulele?
I believe it's Robert Fernay, but I wasn't
Yeah,
able to
you
find...
are. It's Roger, Stephanie.
Oh,
Roger.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, Roger. I wasn't able to find very
Probably Roger Fernay.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Olivia, let's just move the mic again over a little more in front of your face. You're a little different voice than Kelly.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Excellent.
Let's give it a try.
Okay. C'est presque au bout du monde, ma barque vagabonde, errant au gré de l'onde, m'y conduisit un jour. L'île est toute petite, et n'a fait qu'il habite, gentiment nous invite à en faire le tour. Ukulele, la santé quotidienne, mais la pauvre âme humaine, les hôtels d'oubli, a pour quitter la terre, su trouver le mystère, où nos rêves se tairent, en quelques yucalis. C'est le pays de nos désirs. Yukali, c'est le bonheur, c'est le plaisir. Yukali, c'est la terre au loquet de tous les soucis. C'est dans notre nuit comme une éclaircie, l'étoile construit. C'est Yukali, Yukali, c'est le respect de tous les vœux échangés. Yukali, c'est le pays des beaux amours partagés. C'est l'espérance qui est au cœur de tous les humains, la délivrance que nous attendons tous pour demain. C'est le pays de nos désirs. C'est le bonheur, c'est le plaisir. Mais c'est un rêve, une folie. Il n'y a pas de Cali. Mais c'est un rêve, une folie. Il n'y a pas
Lovely, Olivia. Lovely. Beautiful. Wonderfully played, too. Beautiful. So how did you come to this song?
I had found the viol song Speak Low first, actually.
Uh-huh.
And I just fell in love with the idea of I just get so stuck in my operatic kind of head space. And I was like, wow, I just really want to find more Kurt Weill because I love that song so much. And I just felt like this music really helps me free my thinking about my singing and I think therefore my body. So, yeah, it just came as like a search of finding more of his music, and I just really resonated with it. Yeah.
I'm interested, Olivia, in the idea that you just said about how this got you out of your operatic body. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah. I think when I sing something like Mozart, I can get so fixated on what's right, and of course there's correct style and things that are accurate, but I think that it inhibits me from really expressing, and it also, I think, can really make my body feel very small and make my voice feel small sometimes because I'm trying to make it do something precisely. And I think singing viol and getting into jazz a little bit more, I just am I feel like I'm singing again like when I was 10 and just singing in my bathroom and singing when it just feels really, really good to sing. And this song it feels good, and I want to get back to that feeling.
How old are you, Olivia? Do you mind me asking?
24.
So And how long have you been singing?
I started taking a few lessons when I was about 14, and I ended up going to
Mm-hmm.
Interlochen Arts Academy when I was 15.
Great.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I got to be there for 3 years. It was really, really lovely. So
You have a beautiful voice.
thank
And
you.
I totally get what you mean. I completely get it. I have never been a singer who has been happy in one particular style. Um, and I completely understand how this music makes you feel. First of all, this is a tango habanera, so there's no reason. I mean, it's good. It's good feeling music. It's wonderful. It's sensual, beautiful, sexy music, and it makes us feel good to sing it. And you sing it beautifully. It's interesting to me that that so many singers feel like they cannot express themselves in things that are in, let's say, Mozart. Okay, I'm just going to go Mozart because that's what you mentioned. And I think part of the reason is that we at some point we equate rightness and correctness with this kind of music that is teaching us how to sing. And then we feel like once we've got that correctness, now we can go off and do something that actually feels good. I'm concerned only because I would love all of you to feel, I would love you to feel, Olivia, that when you sing Mozart, it makes you feel good.
Hmm.
And I think that the reason we don't is that we become hyper. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we shouldn't be very vigilant when we sing opera. We should. We need to be vigilant, and we need to be good stewards of the music. But I think if you lean into what makes Mozart, Mozart, it will make you feel good in a way that this makes you feel good.
Hmm.
And uh, I just wanted to drop that in front of you, just so you think about it,
Yeah.
right? When you're singing, what Mozart arias do you sing?
Just working a little bit on Archifühls,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
yeah, I guess that for example.
Right. And so I'm sure that whenever you're working on Archifühls, you're feeling all of the constraints,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
I think
it feels like,
it feels like you need to make it perfect, and that's not a healthy goal.
listen, y'all have to get away from the idea that singing is perfect. It is super imperfect. It is built, it comes out of us, and we are imperfect. There's nothing perfect about us. Nothing. And so it makes sense that the voice would not be perfect. And it's the imperfections that make something beautiful. And there's all sorts of art that will tell you that. There are all sorts of artists and all sorts of media that will say that it's the imperfections that make something beautiful. And that I'm not saying I don't want singing to be beautiful. I want it to be beautiful and I want it to be right. But I think that I would love you to think of an aria like that and lean, and when you work on it, just think about it as you're working on it. What about that aria makes you feel connected? What about it makes you feel good to do it? And write it down. Write it down so that you can remind yourself when you're going to work on it, this is why I'm working on it,
Yeah,
because it makes me feel like this. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So just it was interesting. I'm just going on that tangent because that was an interesting thought you had.
yeah.
Thank you for having that thought.
Of course.
Now tell me about Yukali. Tell me about this song.
Yeah, like its background or it was written.
Anything you want.
Okay. Well, it was written in 1933. Kurt Weill. I
Mhm.
believe this was the year that Hitler came to full power in Nazi Germany.
Mhm.
Weill was Jewish, and he recognized that he couldn't stay there, and he needed to
Uh
leave.
huh.
So he goes to
Mhm.
France, and he starts writing in the French cabaret style as well. He had been writing, obviously, in the German cabaret style. Um,
Mhm.
and there's this text, Yukali. It's like Xanadu. It's this paradise, um, and I think for me, it's just, along with the tango, it's just such a combination of bittersweet, you know, of thinking of, we all have, it says, even the hope that's in all of the human heart, you know, in the song, like we all have this hope, no matter when. I think when we lose it, we just, I don't know, but yeah, we have this hope. And so we have this hope that there's this place that we can really be ourselves, and really, it says, where our dreams go, you know. And obviously at this point, that must have felt completely impossible for him. And I think in the second verse, it really becomes, I don't know if cynical is the right word, but it's just like, that's just, I think this person is saying that was just a child's dream, and that's stupid, and this is the real world, and it's harsh and it's cruel, and there isn't a ukulele. But I think maybe at the very end, with that last note, there's still a little bit of hope in there. There's still a little bit of a belief in ukulele, a belief in the goodness in people.
Yeah.
And I think that the tango was such a great choice, because the dance itself exemplifies so beautifully that passion, but also like where it came from in Argentina, and the neighborhoods that it came from, these people that were suffering a lot, but this is how they came together, you know. So.
Yeah, that's very good. That's exceptionally good. Exceptionally good explanation. So it's a tango habanera. What does that mean?
A tango habanera. Well, the tango is the dance, but I
No. That's okay.
Okay.
You don't. I know it. I know what it's. Oh, I know what it's a dance. I know it's a dance.
Okay.
Do you know that the narrative is a tango, right?
Yeah.
The narrative is the tango, but the refrain is a habanera.
Oh, I see.
They're two dances.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
So half of it is the tango and the other half is not.
Gotcha.
And the thing that's interesting, do you dance the tango?
No, I do not.
Oh, now Olivia, you've got to dance the tango.
Yeah, I think I do.
I tell you what, all of you guys, if you are going to be singing anything that is a dance, you have to learn the dance. Learn it. It will make all the difference. If you get the rhythm in your body, the way you sing it will be completely different. The thing that's exciting about, I once did a tango with a wonderful, with the father of Cesar Ulloa. I don't know if any of you know who Cesar is, but he teaches at San Francisco Conservatory. And Cesar and I were doing Carmen together. And every night we would all get together in somebody's apartment and we would dance. That's all we would do. It was fabulous. And we had one of the members we had a Brazilian, a Cuban, and a Puerto Rican in our cast. And so all we did was dance. And I got to dance the tango with Cesar's father one night, who was visiting. And the thing that's beautiful about the tango is that it has to be, well, like any dance, it has to feel like it can turn on a dime. Like the direction can turn anytime. And this is when you have a very good feeling for that. It's all in the language. It's all in the words that you land on. And your French is pretty good. You need to go through, we don't have the time to do it, but you need to go through and look at the endings of some of these words. I know you were singing from memory, and it might just well have been a little bit, that's fine. But go through, there were too many to be that. So just go and look at the ends of your words. And also, every time you sang une folie, you sang une folie. It's une folie, right?
Right.
So there were some places that need to be more closed.
Okay.
But there are places that you can really stretch and utilize the text in a heavier way. And not heavy is the wrong word. But it's like putting your weight down and turning. Like when you sing Ma barca vagabonde, right?
Yeah.
Et rentre gré de longue, right? So that it feels like exactly what I was saying with Kelly. There's places where you need to utilize weight.
Okay.
To create a movement, Can you just start from the beginning?
Yeah. C'est presque au bout du monde, ma barque vagabonde.
Okay, sorry, Olivia, let's stop. Let's stop. So, the very first word, you go, c'est presque, right? But it's not. It's not. It's c'est presque, right? It's a pickup.
Yeah.
You give it too much weight. The weight is going to what?
Slow.
Where's it going to?
Oh, it's going to the end of the phrase. The end of the phrase.
It's going to mold it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
C'est presque au bout du monde, right? So make sure you're not laying out on the very beginning of a word, because it's.
Sure.
We need to hear where you're going.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, one more time.
C'est presque au bout du monde, ma barque vagabonde, errant au gré de l'onde, me conduisit un jour. L'île est toute petite, et la fée qui l'habite, gentiment nous invite à en faire le tour.
Now that was beautiful. Olivia, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
En fait la tour was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Taking that. Are you a dancer?
Yeah. I
Somebody
took
just
dance
said you're a dancer.
I took a lot of ballet when I was younger, and I've never.
So you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you understand what I mean.
Yes.
You know, you have a good feeling for this. You just need to go farther.
Okay.
Right? Just go farther with it. But that was beautiful.
Yeah. The breath.
Listen, if there's any place in music to sing rubato, it's this song.
Yeah.
You can take the time. You just got to give it back.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the rule. Right? And you did it beautiful there. Beautifully. Yeah? Would you mind just going from gentiment, nous invite?
Yeah.
All right?
Gentiment nous invite à en faire le tour. Yucali, c'est le pays de nos désirs. Yucali, c'est le bonheur, c'est le plaisir. Yucali, c'est la terre où l'on quitte tous les soucis. C'est dans notre nuit comme une éclaircie l'étoile qu'on suit. C'est Yucali.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that is really gorgeous. That's really beautiful singing. I don't have a lot to say about it because it's wonderful. You just need to play more. You need to play more with the rhythm. And I'm gonna say this to Kelly at the same time I'm saying it to you. And I know it's insane working like this, right? It's insane. You know, I would much rather be there with you, and I do. I feel I'm there with you. You know, with these stupid earphones. But we need make sure that y'all don't get into this habit of staring into some weird space when you're singing. You are singing to people, and if you are constantly looking, Kelly was the same thing. What the hell are you looking at? Right?
Yeah.
Make sure that when you are singing, you are being specific. Because we're singing into the ether, we lose a sense of specificity that comes because you're looking me in the eye and you know I understand what you're saying. Or, does she understand what I'm saying? I better be clearer about this, right? If all we're doing is just, it's like, you know, if we're just stirring the pot with our heads, it doesn't mean anything, right? It loses specificity. So even when you're looking into a camera, please, my friends, do not be afraid to look into the camera.
Okay.
Don't do it. Do it. Make connection with your audience, right? Look into the camera. I don't care if somebody tells you, no, you should never do it. I can't tell you how many friggin' auditions I've looked at over the last year where people are staring at some weird point on the wall, and I have no concept of whether or not they really have a connection to the text.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you just talked me through this piece, and I know you have connection to this, and it means something to you. But if the more specific you are, the better. So when you don't allow this amazing feeling of singing this song and how beautiful it is and how you connect to it emotionally, don't let it become some friggin' word soup. It's not word soup. It's very specific. It's not just a feeling. It's a specific feeling. And when you take time to, every time you say Yukali, it has to mean something different.
Yeah.
Right? And when you look at the rhythm of the narrative in comparison to the refrain, it's all about the weight and direction. Weight and direction. Where is it going?
Yeah.
Junie, get out of his bed. Out. Let him lie down. June, get out. June, get off his bed. I'm so sorry. We're about to have a fight. June, get off of his bed right now. Off. Oh, for God's sake. I got one dog that's 135 pounds and one that's 20. And guess who has the biggest bed? Junie, come here. All right, come on. Okay. So sorry. This is the troublemaker right here. Yeah.
Aww.
Okay, do you understand what I mean? Be very specific. Here's the thing. When you're thinking about singing Mozart, when you're thinking about singing Weill, the thing that connects them all is specificity. That's what makes them, and if you can be really specific in Mozart, specific in terms of direction, in terms of text, in terms of rhythm, landing, where are things landing, you will find that same addictive quality that you do in this.
Yeah.
You will find it.
Okay.
And it will make it feel delicious to sing off your shoes. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank
you,
you
Dr.
so
Laybourn.
much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, wonderful.
So,
June loved it.
Well, he's so cute.
Yeah.
So while we're taking our little break before the next singer, which is Miguel Bañales, who will be singing some Traviata for us, we are doing a production of Handel's Agrippina. And you obviously have done a great deal of Handel. And, since we've been talking about how we want to approach everything we do, cabaret, opera, musical theater, with this sense of openness and honesty and artistry. When you talk to us a little bit about when you approach Handel, is it different for you? Do you have any advice for our people who are going to be doing Agrippina in a virtual way? We're going to obviously record it and produce it that way. What's your take on? I mean, I've loved seeing you in a lot of Handel, and I just wanted to know if you feel that it's a different animal.
I don't feel it's a different animal. I think that us setting it apart from other kinds of opera does it a disservice. Because I think that if you look at Handel as being something from which all good things spring, it's better. For me, it's like whenever I sing Handel, it's like hitting the reset button. It's a palate cleanser for me. It makes me think. It makes me think more technically. It makes me sing with more clarity and with more direction. And I think it's something that has, kept me fairly honest over the years. And I think that it's a style of singing that everyone needs to do. I never ever listen. Whenever I'm working with a singer, I always ask them if they sing early music. And I can't tell you how many times I hear, Oh, well, no, that's not really my bag. That's not what I don't do that. Really? How funny. There isn't a single singer today that should not be singing Handel or that cannot sing Handel. And every single one of you needs to be singing coloratura. Every single one of you. If I can haul this motherfucker around, sorry. If I can haul this around, I apologize. If I can haul this around, so can you. Okay? For our YouTube audience, I'm so sorry. I'm a mezzo-soprano. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to do it. No excuses. There are no excuses. And you can't just, when I was a flute player, right? I was really good at playing the slow movement of concertos. Man, I could play the slow movement like nobody's business. I was never interested in playing anything that was fast for the very same reason. I was like, oh, that's not really what I'm good at. Yeah, that's just because I didn't work at it. But I tell you something, there is nothing more exciting than singing a lot of notes in a short amount of time. Nothing. It gets your motor racing in a way that is completely and utterly different, and it is divine. So I encourage all of you, if you don't do it, do it. You will be glad you did. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Does anybody else have a quick question before Miguel comes on for Stephanie? Come on, somebody must have a question. Andrew Garland.
Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Can I say really quickly, I actually attended your Wolftrap performance of Cenerentola with Professor Chellis here.
Oh, God.
And you played the lead role of Tisbe, and I'll never forget that. Yes.
So, Stephanie, we have to tell everybody that cast at Wolftrap. So, Eric Owens was Alidoro. Stephen Conde was Don Magnifico. Yep. Yvonne Gonzalez was your counterpart as Clorinda, and you were Tisbe. And I was Ramiro. Maggie Lattimore, who used to teach here, was Cenerentola. It was conducted by Cal Stewart Kellogg, and it was directed by Chris Mattaliano. Am I leaving? Oh, Nathan Gunn was Dandini. Oh, my God.
Yes, I was just going to say.
Anyway, we literally, Stephanie, come on. That was truly one of the most amazing, fun times. It was literally like someone set us loose in an insane asylum. Literally. We were like,
I just remember the underwear. I remember that great underwear scene where Yvonne and I were running around in our corsets.
Right.
Putting on cold cream. Oh, my God. It was a scream. But keep in mind that summer, we did Julius Caesar. You remember that?
I did.
We did Julius Caesar. That cast was Emily Pulley as Cleopatra.
Yep.
With Marianne McCormick as Caesar. It was me as Ptolomeo.
Ptolomeo, yeah.
I was singing Ptolomeo. Jorge Garza was the Sesto.
Yep.
Michelle DeYoung was Cornelia. And Christine Gerke was Nireno.
Right?
Okay? And Eric Owens was Aquila.
I know.
That was a cast. And Patrick Summers directed it, and Jim conducted it, and Jim Robinson directed it.
I know. And those were the days.
That may be the best Julius Caesar production I've ever done.
It was pretty smoking.
It was great. But I mean, it's like Christine Gerke's Nireno. I'm so sorry. That was crazy.
We were all so young and crazy. Anyway. Great. Well, we're going to move on to Mr. Miguel Bañales. You can take your mask off, Miguel. And did you adjust the mic so it's a little more mouth height for you or pointing at your mouth? Yay. Have him Miguel, Jeremy, just telling him he can go ahead and start.
Yep.
Lunge da lei, per me non va di letto. Volaron già 3 lune. omaggi per me lasciò, dovizie, amori e le pompose feste, o vari omaggio avessa, veda schiavo ciascun di sua bellezza. Ed or contenta in questi ameni luoghi tutto scorda per me. Qui presso a lei o rinascer mi senato, ed al suo fio d'amor rigenerato scorda nei gaudi suoi tutto il passato. De miei bollenti spiriti il giovanile ardore e la temprò quel placido sorriso dell'amor, tal di che disse vivere io voglio a te fedel dell'universo in memore. Io vivo quasi in ciel, dal di che disse vivere io voglio a te fedel, ah sì, dell'universo in memore. Io vivo quasi in ciel, io vivo in ciel dell'universo in memore. Io vivo quasi in cielo, ah sì, io vivo quasi in cielo. Io vivo quasi in cielo.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely to hear you. What a terrific voice you have.
It's amazing to be here.
Beautiful.
With you.
Miguel, can you step a little closer to the
Just
mic?
come closer to the. There you go. Excellent. Fantastic. How long have you worked on this aria?
I started it before I arrived to Colorado, so it's been like maybe 8 months, 9 months.
Beautiful. You've done gorgeous work on it.
Thank you.
The only thing I would say, I mean, honestly, is just that it needs more specificity. There are places that the articulation is not exactly right, and I think that sometimes it with an aria like this, it's very difficult not to fall into the trap of the orchestra, right? Where you hear this all the time. It feels like a gasp, constant gasping.
Yeah.
And you cannot feel like this. You must be super legato. And all the places where you have the staccati have to be more connected.
Okay.
They need to be born from the legato, you know?
Okay.
I think when you have time in the recitative, you should take it. Right? Take the time. You're open. Right? It's the energy. It's the passion of the young lover.
Yeah,
This is the passion of a young lover who is completely, nothing has happened yet, right? This is joy. Just joy, right?
Yeah.
So allow this to just take a little bit of space. Could you start maybe 2 measures before you begin?
Of course.
Great.
Sorry, in the aria or the recit?
In the recitative. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
In
fine.
the recitative.
And Miguel,
It's on the beginning.
stay closer to the mic, about 2 feet from where you
Yeah.
started singing before.
Okay.
There you go.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, kind of directly into it, Miguel.
Okay, awesome.
Lunge da lei, per me non va di letto. Volaron già 3 lune, da che la mia Violetta aggi per me lasciò dovizie, amori e le pompose feste, o valio maggio avezza, veda schiavo ciascun di sua bellezza. Ed or contenta in questi ameni luoghi, tutto scorda per me. Qui presso a lei ho rinascer mi sento, e dal soffio d'amor rigenerato scorda nei gaudi suoi tutto il passato.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. It's so much more beautiful if you sing it like this, because we hear the contrast. If we hear from the very beginning, by the time there has to be a reason
I hear you.
that it has this. You understand what I mean?
I feel
So
a little bit of that.
now we understand where this breathless quality is going to come from,
Of course.
right? Now, try when you are. Let's go from chi presso a lei, right? If you from when you get to sento, try desperately not to put a shadow vowel, so we don't hear senato, sento, right? E dal soffio d'amore. When you get to suoi, because I mean honestly, beautiful singing, really beautiful. So what I'm telling you is it's gilding a lily. You know what I mean? It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
But the problem is that sometimes when you get to the end of the phrase, you clip it off,
Okay.
and you Hercules, when other dog, so that you are reverberating your tone, you're spinning your tone all the way to the end of the phrase, and then releasing it. If this happens in if you go back to Edo or contenta, you clicked right off, and then luoghi you actually spun to the end.
Okay.
So could we go from just as you're singing, make sure that you are spinning all the time,
Gotcha.
right? Okay. So even when you're spinning at the end of the phrase, spin into the silence, spin into the rest,
Okay.
rather than hitting a wall, so that it's constantly moving. Can you just go from Edor contenta?
Of course.
Ed or contenta in questi ameni luoghi, tutto scorda per me. Great.
Now do this. It's fabulous. Now, Miguel, do the same thing, but with the correct articulation. Right. We need to hear the articulation. But the way you sang to the end of the phrase was stunning. Right.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
I'm going to let you keep going, But as you get to sway, make sure that you are spinning all the way through it from the onset of the notes, right? So that when we breathe in the spin. We breathe in the space, you breathe in the spin and let it go. So that it's being carried. And then when you get the very first note has to spin.
Right.
Because otherwise we're going to hear what we heard, which was excess air that didn't know where to go because you weren't spinning the tone. The air only knows where to go when we give it the space and the place to do it, right? And that's what the spin does. So one more time for the contenta.
Of course.
Contenta in questi ameni luoghi tutto scorda per me. Qui presso a lei io rinascermi sento ed
I see your face. Can we go from? Thank you.
Qui presso a lei io rinascermi sento e dal soffio d'amor rigenerato scorda le gaudi suoi.
It's so beautiful. The only place that it sinks is when you start straightening the tone, right? Right. Because the minute it starts to straighten out, the pitch. I'm telling you, the minute pitch sinks, that is the number one reason. Well, okay, this is the number two reason. The number one reason is the vowel isn't clear. But the vowel is fine. It's just it loses its elasticity and then it just sinks, right?
Okay.
And the thing is that we need to get super turned on by the way it sounds when it's right, the way it feels when it's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's something about that. There's something about that. I love this aria.
It's fun.
So much. It is so beautiful. It is so, there's just something so, when he says, since the day she told me I want to live, right? It's like, oh!
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the most amazing thing. And it is, but there's something, what I really love to hear is and with all great singers, you can hear it. When they're singing, you can hear it. And it's not about them digging the sound of their voice. It's that their body has connected so purely with the text, with the feeling, with the rhythm, with the pitch. Everything has kind of come together in this grand ball of deliciousness.
Yeah.
When we feel that, right?
Yeah.
I just want you to feel that as often as possible. That's all.
Constantly looking for
right?
sensation. Yeah.
But it isn't about being self-indulgent with your sound. It's about everything falling into this place. And we've all felt it. We've all felt it. And that's what I want people, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're singing. If it's ukulele or it doesn't matter what it is. It's the visceral part of singing that made us want to do it to begin with. Let's go to the aria. Let's move on. Now let's go to the aria.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my 4 score to work here. All right, let's go to the aria. Okay. Oh. Yep. So sorry. What is the dynamic marking at the beginning of this aria?
Oh Lord, I forgot.
I'll give you a hint. You weren't singing it.
I imagine so. Yeah, I was reminded it was piano.
It's piano, right? So is it piano like,
No.
or is it piano like? It's a stage whisper piano, right? It's if he lets go too soon,
Right.
you know, don't let it go too soon.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Start again?
Yes.
Awesome. De miei bollenti spiriti, il giovanile ardore, ella temprò col placido sorriso dell'amore.
Stop. Miguel, it is so beautiful. But what I want you to hear is pop, pop, pop. No, listen. Pop, pop, pop. Jeremy, can you do me a favor and just play the aria? Just listen.
Okay.
Right? Yes. You hear it? Pop, 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 pop. It's the end of the phrases that you need to. It's that rest. That rest has to be present for the next, right? And if we just, it's not, the aria is what's happening in between, the feeling. So that when you stop singing, it has to feel like it's going forward.
Right.
So even though you're taking the rest, like a good singer should, it needs to feel like the motion is still happening. Okay? So that means don't hit the wall, release the sound.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? Release it. Don't stop.
Thinking about it. Let me try.
Yeah.
De miei bollenti spiriti, il giovanile ardore, ella temprò col placido sorriso dell'amor. Dal dì che disse vivere, io voglio a te fedel, dell'universo in memore, io vivo quasi in ciel, dal dì che disse vivere, io voglio a te fedel, ah sì, dell'universo in memore, io vivo quasi in ciel, io vivo in ciel, dell'universo in memore, io vivo quasi in cielo, ah sì, io vivo quasi in cielo, io vivo quasi in cielo.
Yes. Yeah? Yes. Beautiful. Now I heard tons of legato, lots of connection, beautiful. No snacking at the end of the phrases. Now at the end, when you are singing, all of this is free. It goes back to the feeling of the recitative.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like
it doesn't have, it goes back to that. It is a workout. It is a workout, but it has to be a workout for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't, you become restless because of the support that you're giving. You're giving an enormous amount of support there. But keep in mind that when he sings the end, right? It's dolcissimo. It's not, it's not a Vittoria, so that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I lived like I was in heaven.
Yeah.
You know?
Hard.
Right? Take all the time in the world because it's heaven.
Right.
Don't bash us in the head with it. But I tell you what, those super pianos that you sang were gorgeous and they were motivated.
Thank you.
They were beautiful. Would you mind just trying the last line from Dell'Universo? Would you just do that? Yeah? Take your time. Mm-hmm.
E to F?
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Dell'universo immemore, io vivo quasi nel cielo, sì, io vivo quasi nel cielo, io vivo quasi nel cielo.
Huh? Terrific. Now, if you don't sing in the cielo, I will be happy. Don't stick the shadow vowel in.
They get me every time.
Right? But always think, Miguel, no matter what is happening, no matter what you are doing emotionally, if it is exciting, if it is triumphant, if it is frightened, if it is vulnerable, if it is love, it must be supported. It doesn't matter what it is. We can never fall in love. Always breathe in love.
I love that.
Never collapse in love, right?
Okay.
Right? So that it's super fun and beautiful and colorful. All of the things that you can feed love, feed it.
Okay.
Color, texture, speed of the speed of the spin, whatever it is, intensity. All the things you can feed love, feed it.
Okay.
You know, it's what makes it exciting to hear. It will make us recognize our love.
Of course.
In that,
okay.
because it's so full. Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank
beautiful,
you.
Beautiful singing.
Jeremy,
really beautiful.
Jeremy, you said you had a question.
Yeah. Hi, Stephanie. I was a student at
Can you get to the mic?
Yeah, sure. I was a student at Crane when you were performing the vignettes and the Ellis Island songs, and
I knew I recognized your name.
And we had Tom Ciapullo here a couple years ago who was working on an opera that he was working on for you. And we have a lot of students that are working with composers all the time. And I was wondering if you had some advice on collaborating with composers.
That is an excellent question, and thank you very much. And it's great to see you.
It's lovely to see you too.
And I love that opera he's working on for me. I think it's wonderful. I think the most important thing the most important thing that I've learned with working with many composers over the years is, please do not communicate as much as you possibly can. If someone asks you what your range is, do not tell them your highest note and your lowest notes, ever. Tell them your highest comfortable note and go a step below that, and tell them your lowest comfortable note and go a step above. Because if you do not do that, the composers will write the extremes of your voice all the time, right? So make sure that you are very, very clear. And when someone asks you to give them some advice or give them some examples, do it. Be very and talk. If somebody is presenting something to you and saying, "What do you think?" Really spend time with the score and look at it and sing it and get to know it, so that you can give real, honest answers. Because there's no composer out there that wants you to sing something that you cannot sing. Okay, there are some composers out there who will write music. Yeah, I know, Andrew. I know it. I would like to exchange some stories, but most of the time, composers want you to be able to sing their music. And so the more communication, the more open we can be, and be specific. I've used the word specific a lot. It's the most important word. Be specific. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem.
Can you tell us the working title of the opera by Mr. Cipulo?
It's called Hobson's Choice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. When is that going to
happen? Yeah. I have no idea. It's a work in progress. Right now, nothing can happen anywhere.
Yes, true. But we are more hopeful as of today.
Tom was the first person that I came to with that play, because I knew that he would write something that, first of all, I think Tom is the greatest composer for voice today. I just think he is. I think Tom is an absolute genius. And what I love about singing his music is that it's chock-a-block. When people talk about the development of opera between Verdi and Puccini, and the development of Verismo, and how Verismo is really a distillation of all the things you want to hear in Verdi, right? That you wait to hear. Puccini does it the whole time. It's like pedal to the metal the whole time. And you get all of these very special landing moments all over the place. Tom's music, to me, is a distillation of Puccini. There's just something that is so... I have sung songs of Tom's and heard songs of his that it takes me 3 chords and I'm in a puddle, a total puddle. Right? I'm sorry. It's just it's like I'm Pavlov's dog. And he is so he's so unbelievably clear with colors. He has a palette that is extraordinary. And Touch Me, I'm sorry, there isn't a more perfect song. I think Touch Me might be the most perfect song ever written. If you don't know that song, go listen to that song. It will kill you. And he's not afraid to be funny. He's not afraid to. I knew that he would be perfect for this piece because it's a comedy, but it's also a beautiful family drama. And I knew that he would be perfect for that because he's not afraid to be funny. And that's what a lot of people. There's no funny operas. Where are the funny operas? I need something to laugh at. And the problem is that they're difficult. They're damn difficult. And funny, there's a lot of different levels of funny, and there's a lot of different tastes. Funny is, what one person thinks is funny is not necessarily funny to everyone. Tragedy, very easy. Mother throws wrong baby on the fire, tragedy. Everyone is going to think that's horrifying. Funny, not so easy. Sorry, if you play Azucena, that's always the story you go to. That's it.
Burning your children in the fire.
Yeah.
Our next singer is going to be Kyrie Laybourn. And she's going to be offering Pleurez, pleurez mes yeux from Le Cid by Monsieur Massenet. So, and here she is. Hi, Kyrie.
Hello.
She's adjusting her microphone. Hello. Can you
Hello.
adjust that so it's nice and like literally like right in line with your mouth, Kyrie?
Yeah.
Is that true, Andrew? Is that true? He described himself as Puccini Sinatra?
That's what he told me.
Holy crap!
It makes sense.
Does that
Totally.
feel good that it's kind of like
Makes sense.
at a little angle below your mouth, Kyrie? You can take your mask off too. Beautiful.
Like, is that okay?
Yeah,
Lovely.
I think it
Now
can
I'm
be.
going to ask you.
I think it can be a
if
little
you
lower.
take
I'm
one-
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And then if you could just make sure that you're just a half a step to one side or the other, so I can actually see your face
Okay.
and not the mic.
Fabulous. Yeah.
That's it. You can come closer. Come closer. There you go. Beautiful.
Okay.
Lovely. Perfect.
Fabulous. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Great. So I will be singing Pleurez, pleurez mes yeux from Massenet's Le Cid. Oh, and I'm
Great.
Kyrie Laybourn.
C'est au frais cabas, je sors l'âme brisée. Mais enfin, je suis libre et j'ai pourri de moi. S'aimer, sans contrainte et souffrir,
Thank you so much, Kyrie. Thank you very, very much. May I ask you how old you are, please?
I am 31.
Fantastic. You sing with great experience and beautiful sound, and it's wonderful and full, and you're seen to be fearless. Are you fearless?
I am working on it every day.
Good for you. Being fearless is a good thing.
Yes.
Unless,
it's full of fear.
Okay, fearless and informed is a good thing. Fearless and ignorant is terrible. But I don't think, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's good. It's good to take risks. You take a lot of risks, and it's wonderful. I just to talk for one moment about your French, which is it's going in a very good direction. How long have you been working on this aria?
On and off for like almost 2 years, but more in depth
Great.
over the last like 6 months.
Great. Just overall, I think that whenever you're singing well, let's just say this. When you look at the direction here and it says lento con dolore, what does that mean to you?
Like lento con dolore.
What's dolore?
Slow with like sadness.
Yeah. It's a sad. There's nothing happy about this piece.
No.
You know, she just keeps saying, "Okay, at last I'm able to cry. At last I'm able to cry." Now, one of the very easy missteps to make when you sing some music that is sad or tragic, deeply felt, which is just about everything we sing, quite frankly, is that we feel like we have to darken things to make them feel dark. And the thing that is much more interesting is if you live in the contrast.
Yes.
If something is dark, but yet you sound light.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
When you get down into the lower echelons of your voice here, you darken everything with vowels. Your vowels get too dark.
Okay.
And they lose specificity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So, pardon?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Do you take text away from the music and just read it? Just recite it?
Yes.
Great. Do you write it out?
I don't do it multiple times. I normally do it once or twice while I'm learning it.
Yeah. I don't think it's like learning times tables. You don't have to, repeat. Although, do they do that anymore? Do we do times tables for recitation? I don't know.
I did.
Well, I had to write my times tables out a million times. That's not what I'm asking. It's important that we take the step of writing our text out in its original language and in the translation into our own language, only because it increases our connectivity to it.
Yes.
So there are different ways of text becoming yours. Listening to it is one. Singing it is one. Writing it is one. Reading it is one. And singers have a tendency to skip some of those because we want to get to the singing. I get it. We want to get to the singing. But it's important that you spend time away from it. Would you, if you need the music to do this, please don't hesitate. But could you start from the beginning and just recite for me?
Yes. De cet affreux combat, je suis l'âme brisée. Mais enfin, je suis libre et je pourrai de moi soupirer sans contrainte et souffrir sans témoin.
Okay. Now, what are you saying here in English?
I leave that horrendous battle with soul broken. I exit.
It's okay.
I
not
exit soul broken.
So it's not a super test. I don't want to make you feel. I don't want to put you on the.
Keep losing my.
You clearly know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to put you. Listen. I go into this terrible battle with a broken soul, but finally I'm free, and I can at least sigh unconstrained and suffer without witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's like, oh, really? Holy cow. I mean, this is all she wants, is to just be someplace where she can actually express even just a sigh, because every other place she goes, she has to hide the feeling, right?
Yes.
And so it's important that when you recite this, that you recite it with meaning and direction, so that when you do recitation, you don't do it like an automaton. It has to be a person.
Yes.
You are this person. Can you recite it for me again?
Yes. De cet affreux combat, je sors l'âme brisée. Mais enfin je suis libre et je pourrai, dis-moi, soupirer sans contrainte et souffrir sans témoin.
Right. Yeah? Now I get it.
Yeah.
And it also has direction.
Mm-hmm.
But when we don't, we need to spend this time doing that. Right?
Absolutely.
So that we understand the direction, and that we don't feel that in order to get the feeling, we have to create some kind of sound that's layered on top of what's actually there. What we have to do is reveal what's there.
Yes.
We have to allow it to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're putting a patina over something that masks the reality. So let's start again.
Okay.
From singing. And remember, it's piano. It starts piano.
Okay.
Hey, hold on a second. One moment. Sorry. My darling friend at the piano, can you hear me?
Yep.
What's the dynamic?
Pianoforte.
Yeah, but I need to hear the piano first.
Okay.
I just want you to lead with the piano.
Sure.
C'est affreux combat, je sors l'âme brisée. Mais enfin, je suis libre et je pourrai de moi soupirer sans contrainte et souffrir sans témoin.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So much more interesting.
Yeah. It felt
right?
much more interesting. It felt much more like authentic, like I'm actually feeling these things, and more defeated.
I'm telling you, it is so much more interesting to allow to reveal what is there than to paste something on top of it. It just
Absolutely.
is. It's beautiful. And also, the French was better.
Yeah.
The French is better. Because you're
Yeah,
not,
I
no,
feel
brisé, brisé. It's not. It's brisé, brisé. Mais enfin, je suis, I mean, she's, look, we have to, when a character is given an opportunity to show their soul, very rarely do we see, unless like you're like the evil temptress or some horrifying evil role, you're not really, he's rubbing their hands and going, oh. The person that you're hiding is the vulnerable person. And that's not artificially dark. Libre et je pourrais du moins soupirer sans contrainte et souffrir sans témoin. Right? These are when she says sans, what does sans mean? Without. Right?
Yes.
Without.
Yes.
That's the most
Without
important thing. without restraint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's very beautiful. Let's go to pleurer. And remember again, there is a lot more piano singing in here than you give it credit for. There's piano all over this. You don't get to sing forte until the next page au cher. It's not, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's the top of the next page. But in order to really let your forte mean something, you have to sing piano. Forte means nothing if we don't hear your piano.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Contrast is everything, my friends. It is everything. Can you go from pleurer?
Yes.
From maybe the measure, the pianissimo measure, 2 before. Sorry, so sorry. Stop. So, Kyrie, don't artificially darken that. Can you say this phrase for me?
Pleurez, pleurez mes yeux.
Right. Say it again.
Pleurez, pleurez mes yeux.
Pleurez, pleurez. Right. It's not the pleurez. It's not that. Pleurez, pleurez. And so when you're singing something that is soft and has an exclamation point at the end, this is talking about. It's not talking about volume. It's talking about intensity. Pleurez, pleurez. So that it's super spinning and super forward and super. The more you do this, the more you cover it, the less we hear.
Okay.
If you artificially darken the sound, and please forgive me if I am saying something that is forgive me. Sometimes it's all in you know what I'm saying. You could walk out of the room and say enough, Stephanie. That's it. But if you artificially darken the sound with the vowel, all I am going to hear is that you're darkening the sound. I'm not going to hear the word. I want to hear the word. It's the quality of the sound, not this darkness. One more time.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. How does it feel?
It feels really vulnerable. It also feels like I can pick my spots without screaming. Like I felt like I got to a forte when I was talking about like I wish to die, but I wasn't giving even like what I would normally say a forte is. Like I was giving so much less, but it felt like those contrasts, like you were saying, like I was able to kind of take everything down a little bit, and it made me more calm in my body.
It's something that, look, it's not. To do this kind of singing consistently is tiring as all get out and sounds easy. If somebody says to you, wow, it just sounds so easy, it looks so easy, you can always tell about, I would say most of the time, it's the exact opposite that is true. Mm-hmm. It is much easier to barrel your way through something and sing loud. And there are plenty of people who say, well, Stephanie, you sing loud all the time. I do. I have a loud voice. But I also recognize that there is an enormous amount of technique that cannot be learned loud. Mm. Technique is not learned loud. And honey, I'm 51 years old and I'm just learning that. You know, I had a lesson the other day and my teacher was like, Stephanie, do you think you could try singing that mezzo-soprano? And I was just singing vocalises, right? And I'm like, okay. Oh, it's so easy. You know, I'm singing on a menopausal voice right now. I'm having to learn a whole new instrument. Mm-hmm. The thing is that the more you try to make it loud or darken it or cover it or give it a feeling of depth mm-hmm. and passion and all that, it's just veneer. It doesn't go skin deep. It's the other stuff. It's the vulnerability. That's what gets you. I could tell you, my friend, I listened to, when I was a young artist at the Met, I was listening to Veronica Virilwell one day in the dress rehearsal of La Traviata. Mm. I have never in my life heard anything like that, and never since. Heard someone who sang with so much passion, so much depth, so much pain, so much contrast, and so softly. And it was devastating. I want to cry right now just describing it to you. It was so, I've never forgotten it. It was like time stopped. When you sing music like this, and you don't add that, you know, you don't throw all that extra scuro in, mm-hmm. you reveal something. And it's scary. Kyrie, it's scary. It is frightening. And you'll feel like the more you try to mix head down, and I'm not going to talk technique with anybody because it's not my job, but the more mixture you do down low, the more frightening it's going to be. But the more you do that, the better off you're going to be. The more sound you bring down from the top, rather than hauling stuff up from the bottom, you're going to sing longer, you're going to sing healthier, you're going to sing clearer.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I love
Pardon, honey?
I just said I'm definitely going to work on that.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've been coming at it from the bottom up for a while.
Don't.
And I need to
come from the opposite way. For God's sake, downhill is so much easier in everything in life. In everything. Why is it that we fight that so much when we're singing? It's just bring the sound down from the top. It's so beautiful. You have a really wonderful, individual, authentic sound. Embrace it. You don't have to create something on top of it.
Okay.
Don't hide. Don't hide that light under a bushel, my friend.
Okay.
Okay?
That's beautiful advice.
Good?
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Oh my goodness, Stephanie. Thank you so much for going over a couple minutes. I love you so much.
Oh no.
Everybody is like saying, everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're so inspiring. And, you know, Michelle DeYoung, she's so sad. I think she's watching. She says, if I don't say hello, she's going to kick my butt. And she'll do it. So anyway, my dear, so much gratitude. Can everybody do our little, you know, yay, Stephanie.
And so much great singing. It's so wonderful to hear all of you. And just, you know, I keep your chins up. I tell you something. The students out there right now, and I say this, and I love my students at large, and I love the work that they're doing, and that everybody I've heard, you know, across the country in Masterclasses, you are all doing such great work, and this is during such a difficult time, but I know every single one of you are saying the same thing. I am shocked at the development that I am able to do over Zoom. Everybody is saying it. Every single singer I've worked with is making improvements. It is about listening. It's about listening. And now you're being forced to really listen to yourself. And man, singers don't like to do that. We like to hear ourselves. We don't like to listen. So start listening and paying attention. You will be amazed, and the world will start listening to you too. It is wonderful. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, my dear. Kiss those puppies. And
I will.
We'll be in touch. Much love. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.